This morning, emotional call. NRL star Boyd Cordner hangs up his boots after a stellar career. What forced his hand? Swallowed by a sinkhole, a burst pipe causes chaos in Brisbane. Swimming scandal, explosive allegations surrounding the culture of Australian swimming. And hundreds recognised in the Queen's birthday honours.
This is 7 News with Angela Cox.
Good morning. Sydney Roosters and Kangaroos captain Boyd Cordner has announced his retirement effective immediately due to repeated concussions. 7 News Chief League reporter Michelle Bishop is at Roosters headquarters. Michelle, it was an emotional final press conference, but a brave call at a critical time for concussion in sport.
Good morning, Ange. It was really tough to see 40-plus big rugged footballers choke back tears as they heard Boyd Cordner call it time on his career. Of course, we all know Boyd as a true fighter, the captain of Australia, New South Wales and the Roosters, but he has been unstoppable until now, abandoning plans to return to the field because of too many head knocks. He's described the last 6 months as gruelling. He's had sleepless nights, ongoing medical tests, consulting doctors and family. Cordner is the most high-profile victim of the game's biggest talking point at the moment, concussion. And it was last week after a training session that he knew it was time.
Trying to find a way for me to brush it aside and to play on. But like I said, I put my health and my happiness first, and you know, it's as hard as it's going to be because I feel like I've got a lot more left to give to the game.
183 games for the Roosters, 16 for New South Wales and 20 for Australia. And look, he is the third high-profile player to call his career prematurely. Of course, we had his teammate Jake Friend earlier this year who was also suffering from concussion, called it a day, and his other teammate Brett Morris who suffered a serious knee injury. But of course, today is all about celebrating Boyd Cordner and his wonderful career.
OK, Michelle Bishop, thanks so much. Australians from all walks of life are being celebrated this morning after being recognised in the Queen's birthday honours list. Political reporter Taylor Aiken is live for us in Canberra. Taylor, a very special day for all of those recognised.
Yeah, it sure is, and good morning. With more than 1,000 people being recognised in the Queen's birthday honour list for 2021. Many of them ordinary Australians doing impressive and vital work within their community. For the more than 1,000 Australians recognised in this year's Queen's birthday honours, today will be a highlight of their lives. Each individual story is unique and Neil Danaher is one of them. Recognised for his dedication to finding a cure for motor neuron disease.
What we're out here is fighting the beast so that we can help everyone who's currently battling MND and those that will be diagnosed in the future.
Laura O'Reilly started not-for-profit organisation Fighting Chance from the ground up. Passionate about creating opportunity and inclusion for those living with a disability.
I never would have thought that we'd be here today, that Fighting Chance would be supporting over 1,000 people with disability.
He's won the Dally M medal and been inducted into the NRL Hall of Fame. But Ricky Stewart is being honoured today not just for his work on the footy field. His charity provides much-needed respite for families with children living with a disability.
You don't do things for accolades. But I am very, very humbled by the award.
Among those on the list, Olympian Erin Phillips, political commentator and former government chief of staff Peter Credlin, Hollywood heartthrob Chris Hemsworth and Sunrise's Mark Barretta for his inspiring work with Tour de Cure. A record number of women were acknowledged this year, along with around 60 people who have given their time and effort in battling the COVID-19 pandemic. Ange?
OK, thank you, Taylor. Scott Morrison will now head to London to negotiate a free trade agreement with Boris Johnson after the G7 summit in Cornwall wrapped up. The Prime Minister says world leaders at the summit largely support Australia's stand on China, including calls for a fresh investigation into the origins of COVID-19. Hugh Whitfield has more from Cornwall.
While here on the Cornish coast, Scott Morrison says he's been trying to explain the plight faced by liberal democracies in our region and the challenges posed by China as North American and European leaders in the G7 come to understand the threats posed by Beijing. Some countries, including Italy, are wary of antagonising China too much. The Italian Prime Minister telling Scott Morrison in their meeting that's where the key differences between the G7 nations are.
Thank you very much for coming here.
On the final day of this G7 summit, Joe Biden went to Mass at a local church before outlining many of the outcomes of this summit, including commitments to vaccinate the world by the end of next year and a new investigation into the origins of COVID-19. Scott Morrison says that needs to happen as soon as possible.
COVID-19, you need a vaccine. Climate change, you need technologies that enable you to run your economies at net zero emissions.
The US President also saying America is back leading the world. Boris Johnson took time out to enjoy the surf here on the Cornish coast, and from here Scott Morrison has headed for London for 2 days of talks, including a meeting with Boris Johnson at Downing Street, and he'll also drop by the Queen at Windsor Castle.
A man's been taken to hospital with internal injuries after crashing through a fence, ripping away part of his car. Natasha Squarey reports.
Well, residents say they heard a car speeding up and down this street for around half an hour before the crash, and it's believed the driver was travelling more than 100 kilometres per hour in this 50 zone. Around 1:30 this morning, the driver of the Mitsubishi Lancer then lost control and slammed into the side of this St Andrew's home and spun back onto the road. Residents were woken by the impact, including the young couple and toddler who were inside the home. They were all in shock, and the family has told us today that their 2.5-year-old boy's bedroom is on the other side of this wall, and they're incredibly grateful they weren't injured. As for the 24-year-old man behind the wheel, he suffered multiple injuries and was treated on the side of the road by witnesses and paramedics. His passenger wasn't hurt.
He was breathing but could have been laboured at times. He was just coming in and out of consciousness.
The driver was taken to Liverpool Hospital with a head injury. Today, he's listed as stable.
It could have been catastrophic for more than himself, which looks like he may have ongoing effects from the accident today.
Investigators will speak with the man when he's well enough, and it's likely he'll be charged with multiple driving offences.
Victoria has recorded 2 new community cases of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. The new cases are primary close contacts of existing cases and have been isolating during their infectious period. Anger remains over a lack of detail about when restrictions will ease further. Ahead in 7 News, a gaping hole opens up in Brisbane. Those trying to help caught up in the chaos. And Michael and the whale, the fisherman caught in the mouth of a humpback, how he survived, that's next.
The road to Bathurst has never been more intense. The great showdown between the hotshot Van Gisbergen and 7-time champ Jamie Whincup. Everything will be left on the track. Because they know all roads lead to the mountain.
That is an incredible race. The Darwin Triple Crown. All this weekend.
On 7.
And 7+.
The thing about us Australians, everyone's a coffee critic. You give us a lackluster latte, we'll turn it into a down-the-sink cappuccino. Our adults drink cappuccinos, our babies drink baby-chinos. And yeah, we're a sporting nation, but there's only one cup we care about lifting. That's why at McCafe, our smooth, rich new blend, roasted in Melbourne, is nothing short of... It's not just coffee fit for a king or queen. Oh no, it's coffee fit for an Aussie.
For them to choose us, not the other way around, this is pretty special.
For the first time, children can choose their sponsors. Sponsor a child and be chosen. Search World Vision or call 13 32 40 today.
Cold coming on?
There can't be. I have my son this weekend.
Own your cold. Work from home, so at playtime you can unlock Veronicasaurus. Soldier on sooner with Codrill.
I love money, so I made sure I got the best home loan rate. It's only the highest on the market, but woo! Oh, apparently a low home loan rate is better.
Great rates, great service. Have it all with Homestar.
Looks like members are getting free and faster deliveries with eBay Plus.
It's like the Fast and the Furious in here.
I found the Furious.
At Harvey Norman, recline in the Jamison 3-piece leather lounge suite. Amazing value. The Zerin 9-piece dining suite, $2,199. Plus bonus gift card up to $1,000 when you buy on 60 months interest free. On now.
When the slip and slide doesn't have quite enough slip. Or slide.
Okay.
It's time for Tylenol.
I'm good. I don't know what happened there, eh?
This is gonna be the best summer ever. Come on, Luca!
Streaming June 18 on Disney Plus.
There's something fishy with you two.
Disney and Pixar's Luca. Streaming on Disney Plus from June 18.
It's Australian citrus season at Woolworths. With 3 kilos of sweet and juicy Australian half-time navel oranges, now just $4.90 a pack.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Welcome back. A large sinkhole has nearly swallowed a fire truck in Brisbane. A broken pipe causing huge issues for emergency workers. The cleanup will continue for hours. Bianca Stone has more.
Good morning. It wasn't an ideal start to a Monday morning for one Brisbane firefighter who got his truck stuck in a sinkhole. It all unfolded at around 3 o'clock this morning when a water main burst. Now, it happened here on the corner of Beatrice and Juliet Streets at Greenslopes. Water was gushing down the street and into properties. At least 4 homes have been damaged. Firefighters were responding to that. The fiery was removing the truck and repositioning it. He came around the corner and that's when the bitumen opened up and a sinkhole swallowed the front half of his truck. It took fire crews about 3 hours to get that truck out. They used heavy haulage tow trucks to remove the 14-tonne vehicle, but it has left one hell of a mess. Crews are now working to repair the water main. They also need to repair the road surface, and homeowners are also cleaning up after water went through their properties.
We woke up, we thought someone was kind of rummaging around in beneath the house because there was lots of noise, and we went downstairs and we found out that our whole garage was flooded.
Urban Utilities expects the crews to be here for most of the day to try to repair this mess.
Shocking claims of abuse within the Australian swimming ranks have been aired as part of a research project by a former competitive athlete. Dr. Jenny McMahon interviewed hundreds of swimmers detailing allegations of a toxic and degrading culture. The claims include women being oinked at and one boy being forced to wear a female costume as punishment for a slow swim. An American fisherman is now back with his family recovering after a rare escape from the mouth of a humpback whale. The man has told how he feared the animal was about to swallow him. Here's US correspondent Tim Lester.
It's the homecoming Massachusetts fisherman Michael Packard briefly feared he'd never see. From a lobster diving trip off America's Atlantic coast, he was fishing 15 metres beneath the surface when the terror started.
And I just felt this truck hit me and everything just went dark. I just thought, did I just get eaten by a white shark? And then I said, no, I don't feel any teeth. And I said, oh my God, I'm in the mouth of a whale with his mouth shut.
The 57-year-old says he'd lost his regulator, needed to breathe, and he began thinking about his family.
Am I just gonna like run out of air and suffocate? Is he gonna swallow me? This is how you're gonna go, Michael. This is how you're gonna die. In the mouth of a whale.
Spare a thought too for son Jacob in a class, reading a text message from his mum.
Yeah, your dad was diving and a whale just, I don't know, attacked him, ate him.
He just got thrown out of his mouth into the water. There was just white water everywhere, and I just was laying on the surface floating.
Rejected as lunch, but alive with a dislocated knee, Michael Packard says as soon as he's recovered, he's heading back to the water.
US President Joe Biden has breached royal protocol, sharing details about his private one-on-one with the Queen. He said the pair spoke about China and Putin and says she even asked him to stay a little longer. Sarah Greenhalgh reports.
Well, this was a very British visit with US President Joe Biden and the First Lady dropping into Windsor Castle for tea. The Bidens arrived in Marine One, welcomed in the quadrangle of Windsor Castle by the 95-year-old monarch. President Biden is now the 13th US leader that the Queen has met during her incredible 69-year reign. As you can imagine, this event was full of all the usual formalities, the national anthems, the President inspecting a guard of honour before the trio headed off inside to the Queen's apartment for a private audience. Now, usually the exchanges that happen during these private meetings are kept just that. But the President has strayed slightly from royal protocol by revealing to reporters a little bit about his exchange with the Queen, saying that Her Majesty asked him about Russia and China. He also praised her for her generosity.
She was very generous, very... I don't think she'd be insulted, but my mother, she reminded me of my mother in terms of the look of her and just the generosity. And I said, ma'am, this is, it's a long time. She said, oh no. I said, I wish we could stay longer. Maybe we could hold the cars up a minute. So anyway, she was very gracious.
President Biden also telling that press pack there at the airport that he invited the Queen to the White House. After attending the G7 summit in Cornwall and his meeting at Windsor, he has now left the UK, headed off to Brussels for a NATO summit before arriving in Geneva on Wednesday for a highly anticipated meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Next in 7 News Sport with Matt Carmichael, including a stunning comeback in the AFL. The French Open ends in an epic showdown. Also, the Australian teenager sending a warning ahead of the Olympics after smashing a world record in the pool.
Wake up.
The doctor will see you now.
Morning, Doc.
Go away. The delightful Doc Martin, tonight on 7-2.
Nice car. Did you get your Woolies worth on car insurance?
Woolies worth?
With Woolworths car insurance, you could get 10% off your groceries once a month.
Thanks, mate. Very helpful.
Get a quote online today.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you.
Mum wanted to stay in her own home, so it was wonderful that we had an organisation that could give us peace of mind that she was being very well cared for.
Anglicare at Home has a network of extraordinary care workers that can support you to continue living independently in your home.
I think the carers are absolute angels and they do make our lives easier, so just very, very grateful for that.
Search Anglicare at Home.
For tough pain relief, my go-to is Panadol Extra. Because if I don't, with my migraine headaches, I'm kind of useless in the kitchen. It's good to know you can still help out the people who need you. Together, let's rethink care.
This 21st and 22nd of June is Amazon Prime Day. 2 days of epic deals that could change your kitchen, your game, even the way you celebrate. So if you have plans on Prime Day, change them.
Now's the time to join Bupa. Before life happens. It could. Any second now. So, get Bupa Extras cover before life goes down. It's less than you think. From under $3.50 a week. Search Bupa Extras before life happens.
Here at Amart Furniture, our end of financial year sale is on now, with up to 50% off a massive range of furniture and bedding in-store and online. You won't want to miss it. Amart Furniture. These offers end tomorrow.
Light and Easy's Jumpstart Plus combines their award-winning healthy meal delivery service with their new app to help you achieve your goals sooner.
Everything that Jumpstart said it was going to do, it did.
Order today and you could win a share in $250,000.
Good morning. Sydney footy fans are being urged to get to the SCG and support the big freeze clash between Melbourne and Collingwood today. Last night, Richmond was set for another hit-and-run victory in Perth, leading West Coast by 22 points midway through the last quarter. In front of more than 50,000 fans at Optus Stadium, the Eagles rallied, with Josh Kennedy given the chance to win it in the final minute.
What's the champ got? He bends it! He bends it! He bends it through! West Coast hit the front!
Dustin Martin had a shot at goal fall short in the dying seconds as West Coast held on for a 4-point win. The Queen's birthday clash starts with a special edition of The Big Freeze, live on 7 from 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Australia has a new golden girl in the pool after Kaylee McEwen broke the 100 metres backstroke world record at the Olympic swimming trials last night. The 19-year-old won the final in a time of 57.45 seconds to break the record by a tenth of a second.
It's been 10 months since my dad passed today, so with that behind me and doing that tonight, I think he'd be really proud.
Ariane Titmus broke the Commonwealth record in the 400 freestyle final. Olympic gold medalist Kyle Chalmers took out the men's 200 freestyle. Mac Horton will squeeze into the relay team for Tokyo after finishing 6th. Dual Olympian Jess Fox celebrated her 27th birthday over the weekend with gold and bronze medals at the Canoe World Cup in Prague. It's her first podium finish in a world-class event since August 2019.
It's really exciting to be back here and racing and to see where we're at after being away for so long.
Fox is one of our leading medal hopes for the Tokyo Games. Novak Djokovic has pulled off a stunning comeback to win the French Open. The world number one struggled early, dropping the first 2 sets to Stefanos Tsitsipas, the first Greek to play a Grand Slam final. But Djokovic fought back, taking more than 4.
Unforgettable matches, unforgettable moments for me, for my career, for my life.
England players were booed by their own fans at Wembley for taking a knee before their opening game at Euro 2020.
England take a knee in the campaign to eradicate racism from football, but the mixed reception is a clear indication that there is still work to be done.
Raheem Sterling scored the only goal as England beat Croatia 1-0. Austria won their first ever European Championship game, beating North Macedonia 3-1, and the Netherlands defeated Ukraine 3-2. There are warning signs for England ahead of the Ashes after losing their first home Test series to New Zealand in 22 years.
You can look at anything and you look for excuses in anything. The fact of the matter is New Zealand have outplayed us.
The 8-wicket win gave the Kiwis a 2-0 series win. They'll face India in the World Test Championship final starting on Friday. And despite nearly dying in a horrific Formula One fireball last year, Romain Grosjean is still as brave as they come in motorsport.
And this man is no stranger to flames. He's going to go into the fire himself to save his car.
Grosjean had to be held back from putting out his own fire at the IndyCar Grand Prix in Detroit. Aussie Will Power finished 6th with 3-time Supercars champ Scott McLaughlin 20th. A big day on 7 with the big freeze, and hopefully everyone can really get behind it, watch it and donate a lot of money.
Such a good cause. OK,
sure.
Thanks, Maddie. Next in 7's Morning News, the national weather forecast.
Swallowing this tiny capsule slashed 23 kilos off their waistlines. No diet, exercise or surgery.
They're recording losses of 15% of their body weight.
And now available for the first time in Australia.
This device is a game changer.
Know how it works. Only on 7 News, 6 o'clock.
Advanced Genifique with 7 pre and probiotic fractions activate your skin's strength. The microbiome. Skin recovers faster, is stronger and visibly younger. Our #1 serum. Shop online now at Lancome.
New Chuck's antibacterial dual action wet wipes. The textured side tackles tough grease and grime. The smooth side whisks away everyday mess. And they kill 99.99% of bacteria and germs. Find in store with Chuck's.
We know you've always worked hard for your money. In these uncertain economic times, who do you trust to protect your wealth? Invest with La Trobe Financial. Australia's multi-award winning wealth manager and leading credit specialist. Trusted by Australians for more than 60 years.
Choose from hundreds of courses at TAFE New South Wales. In-demand courses are filling fast. Search TAFE New South Wales or call 131 601 today.
Let's compare health insurance. You might even save some money. Okay, I'll do it. Take the out of saving. Now's the time to compare, select and save with iSelect.
This 21st and 22nd of June is Amazon Prime Day. 2 days of epic deals that could change your kitchen, your game, even the way you celebrate. So if you have plans on Prime Day, change them.
Get well sooner with Blackmore's Bio-C.
Scores are level, so it's still anybody's game. There's the tap, puts it out, sells the candy, heads into it open, goal, and drops it! That's gotta hurt. That's the stuff nightmares are made of.
Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. And Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. Not so good for that. But for mouth-watering pizza every time, Perfect Italiano is perfect for that.
This weather report brought to you by Bridgestone Select for tyres and car servicing.
The Queen has reportedly been gifted a new puppy to mark what would have been her husband's 100th birthday last week. It's understood the 6-week-old corgi was given to Her Majesty by Prince Andrew and his daughters Beatrice and Eugenie. In February, she was given 2 puppies to help her cope while the Duke was in hospital. Last month, one of those puppies died from a heart condition. There's no word yet on a name for the latest addition to the royal family. Let's get a check of the weather forecast now with Tony Auden. Tony, how's it looking?
Oh, good morning, Ange. Thankfully, the wet weather has finally eased back over Victoria and Tasmania. Having said that, we do still have some minor to moderate river flooding in both states today. Now, to the current conditions, a few showers and storms over central Queensland today between about Rockhampton and Bundaberg. Storm warnings issued earlier but have since been cancelled. To the capital city forecast, sunny skies in Brisbane, a top of 23 degrees. Plenty of blue sky in Sydney too, tracking for a top of 19. Cloudy but dry for Canberra, Melbourne and Hobart. A possible late shower in Adelaide. And early showers should start to ease a little bit later in Perth. To the satellite, the wet weather in WA is thanks to a cold front moving through the area here. Nothing too nasty, no warnings current. Further east, a high over New South Wales here is acting like a lid in the atmosphere. It's keeping cloud trapped underneath for those southeastern states and skies clear where there isn't enough humidity for that cloud. And an upper trough is leading to that unsettled weather in Queensland. Tomorrow, that system clears away, so things start to settle down in the Sunshine State while that cold front starts to amble into the Great Australian Bight. It'll bring some showers to Adelaide, maybe even a rumble too. That will be most likely in the afternoon. Showers persisting in Perth, then skies clearing a little bit in Melbourne. A partly cloudy Tuesday ahead and warming a touch to 16 degrees. Hobart stays cloudy, then much the same as today on the east coast. A mostly sunny 19 degrees in Sydney. And in Brisbane, 10 overnight before a top of 24 degrees. Just a possible sprinkle further north in Townsville. That's the latest weather, and more details at 4 p.m. and 6 o'clock.
OK, thanks so much, Tony. And that is 7 News to Now. We'll keep you up to date throughout the day. Our next major bulletin is at 4 p.m. I'm Angela Cox. Thanks so much for your company. Have a great day.
We're back.